So now, following the amazing win of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez over establishment Joe Crowley, the right has gone batshit insane because of the idea that she is a self-described democratic socialist. Now, interestingly enough, yes, the establishment has fought back against her. There's a litany of articles saying, has the Democratic Party gone too far left with Ocasio-Cortez? Obviously not, because she's actually winning. But anyway, oh, no, it's a strange district. It's demographics. It's weird, too white. You know, the same excuses that come from some of the centrist Democrats. But I think the party as a whole is starting to look at that and go, hey, wait a minute. That might actually win, because now we have ideas that were considered fringe. For example, the abolishment of ICE that people like Bernie Sanders aren't even getting behind. That's too left for Bernie Sanders. So there's that. But as far as as crazy as the the centrists in the Democratic Party have gone, the right has taken it to an insane level. For example, you have InfoWars putting out this tweet. Admitted communist wins New York primary, putting America on the path to corporate control? Wait a minute. Communist corporate control, that's not how this works. That's not a thing. But that's InfoWars for you, right? Now, they're not the only one. And by the way, she's not a communist. There is a huge difference between communism, socialism, democratic socialism, and social democracy. Those are all completely different things. But of course, you talk to any right-winger, they're going to say that it's all going down the slippery slope. It's immoral. It's all that stuff. And reprehensible. I've had that conversation. But anyway, no, that's not how this works. Another outlet, Newsmax, specifically a host on Newsmax, decided to also take shots at Alexandria. Host John Cordillo published incorrect information about Ocasio-Cortez and her life story, including a photograph of her childhood home. Isn't that a little weird? Going and doing all this research just to take a picture of somebody's house that they grew up with, then to try to use that against them and to say, oh, you're not really a socialist. Look at your house. It's too nice. Now, in a tweet on Sunday, Cardillo claimed that the photo of her home was, quote, a far cry from the Bronx hood upbringing she is selling. Now, says this is the Yorktown Heights, very nice area, home Ocasio 2018 grew up in before going off to Ivy League Brown University. Oh my God. She went to Brown and grew up in a decent looking house? How terrible. That's it. Got to take your socialist credentials away. How is it that every time, like the number one thing that people who are, leftist get attacked for is having decent things? It's like they expect people who are democratic socialists or social democrats to be what? Living out of a fucking bus that is broken down on the side of the street? Like, what do you want? Be carrying around like a hobo sack or what? No. Her version of democratic socialism, which is a lot more like social democracy, is about everybody having the basics to survive. That doesn't mean that you're not allowed to have a decent looking house. It means that you want everyone to also have a decent looking house and to grow up someplace that is safe and nice and to have opportunity and education. If you have a nice home, great. If you have a nice car, great. You have a fridge, great. And there are people, Fox News, Stuart Varney, loved running a segment about how poor people aren't actually poor because they have a microwave. It's the same kind of mindset. And conservatives look at this kind of attack, and they've used it against Bernie Sanders for owning more than one home and then making money off of his book. Oh, Bernie Sanders, he's a millionaire now. Socialist. You realize he got that from book sales. And Bernie Sanders' version of democratic socialism, which isn't quite correct, it's more social democracy, still exists inside a capitalist framework where you're allowed to sell things and actually have some measure of wealth. I know. But they look at these attacks and they're like, nailed it. Nailed it. Got him. You're not a socialist. Give up your stuff. No, man. Look, they didn't get him. They didn't get her. And they're not being freaking clever. It's not a clever attack. That's ridiculous. But look, anyway. So, Ocasio-Cortez, she, of course, noticed this attack. And she tweeted back, "Hey, John, I didn't go to Brown or the Ivy League. I went to BU. Try Google." Yes, Google, kind of effective. As for her childhood neighborhood, Ocasio-Cortez said the area was, quote, nice. Growing up, it was a good town for working people. My mom scrubbed toilets so I could live here and I grew up seeing how the zip code one is born in determines much of their opportunity, which is absolutely true. Because look, nice areas have more people paying property tax. Property tax equals better schools. Good schools usually equal a better outcome and opportunity later in life. So this is opportunity that we want everyone to have regardless of where they grow up. Doesn't matter, it shouldn't matter if you were in the inner city or if you're in the middle of rural Appalachia. You should all have the same opportunity for a great education so that you can go forward and you can be successful. Ultimately, that's what we all want. But I guess some people don't see it that way. Now, she also said, your attempt to strip me of my family, my story, my home, and my identity is exemplary of how scared you are of the power of all four of those things. Damn. Look, they are scared. They're smearing her to no end because, and it's not just happening, like I said, on the right, it's also happening in the centrist, democratic, space, if you will. They're afraid of somebody from the left, somebody who is a social democrat or a democratic socialist. The words have been, as Kyle Kulinski from Secular Talk has been saying, they have been used basically interchangeably since 2016. So I guess we should stop resisting the change and just go that way. And look, they're afraid of that ideology because it turns out that that ideology is incredibly popular among the people because it's based on policies that people want. A majority of Americans want health care, Medicare for all. That's polls at 63%. That's among all Americans. Among Democrats, it's over 75%. So these policies, free college is pretty much the same thing. A living wage. All these policies are incredibly popular. And so they're afraid of these because it erodes corporate power and actually puts power back into the hands of the people. And that is one thing that the elites, that the establishment, and especially the right wing, don't want. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.